Hello everyone, welcome back to Describely. Today we are going to look into the list data type in Python. So first we'll go through the introduction of list, and after that we'll look into the data retrieval and data unpacking, and after that we'll look into the data manipulation. There we will discuss about the inserting a data into the list, updating a data into the list, removing a particular item from the list. And after that we'll discuss about the list joins. We'll try to join two lists into one. And after that we'll go through the looping of a list, and then we'll try to run the sorting in a list, and after that we'll try to search a item in the list. So let's dive into the code. So what is list? So we can say list is the one of the collection type in Python. So there are multiple collection in Python, like list, tuple, set and dictionary. So list is one of them. And what is a collection? A collection is a data type that can store more than one value. We have already seen how we can declare the list, right? So we can declare the list by saying my list equals to square brackets. So this is how we declare a list. And if I print this my list, and if I also print the type of this my list, let me just run the code. Python 3 main.py. So here you can see it has printed a empty list. So this is a empty list, and again using the type function it has printed the type of this variable, that is list. So this is how we can declare a list. It is not required to declare a list with empty values. So let's say if you already have some values, in my case let's say I have a, b and c. So I can put the value in the list while declaring it. So this is how I can declare a non-empty list. Okay, and if I run the code you will see that this particular variable has a list with non-empty values here. And also let's say if you have a value say in a variable, right? So let's say you have a variable and that holds a capital A value. So you can put this variable directly here inside the list, and this will be considered as a value of the list while this list is being initialized. So if I run the code, you can see here that A is the part of this list, and this doesn't store the variable, this stores the actual value in the list. So next I want to discuss about the data retrieval. So before that we can let's discuss about the indexing in list, right? So whatever value we put in the list, right, that are indexed. That means they have a fixed index. Okay. So here as you can see on the screen that I have created a variable planets, and it holds the name of the planets here. So you can see if we go, if we talk about the positive index, then Mercury is stored at index 0, and Venus at index 1, and Earth at index 2, and so on. And if I talk about the negative index, then negative index starts from the end and it starts from -1, while positive index starts from the start and starts from 0. So you need to remember this, that positive index always starts from 0 and negative index always starts from -1. And the position of the index, so in case of positive index it start from start and negative index start from end. So let's say if you want to access a value, let's say I want to access the earth, right? So I can access a value, let's say positive index and then negative index. So using the positive index I can access the earth by using the index 2, and for using the negative index I can access this by using the index -6. And if I print these two variable, you will find that they both will print the same earth. Okay, so let me run the code. You can see that it has printed the earth using the positive index 2, and again the second variable is also printed the earth using the negative index. So this is how you can access a value from a list. So we have already seen that we can get a value using the index, right? But let's say if you want to get a range of values, so how can we get that? So for that, let me create a variable val1, and we can say planets, and then I will create another variable val2. This is val1, sorry for the typo, and we can say planets. So for getting a value, we provided only one index, but if you want to get a range of value, then we need to provide the range of indexes. So we can say let's say we want from 2 to let's say 4. Okay, from index 2 to index 4. So we can say start from index 2 and go till index 4. So we can separate the range using the colon. Okay. So, but in this range of indexes, whenever we provide, right, this upper value that we provide is excluded. It's not inclusive. It's exclusive. So in that case, we need to add 1 here. So for that, this is going to be 5. And in case of negative index also, this is going to start from -6 and then colon, and we want till -4, right? So we can say -4 and then +1. If you're confused, you should do like this. Okay, +1. So -4 plus 1 is going to be -3. If I run this code, while 1 and while 2, you can see we are getting the range of values here from Earth to Jupiter and from Earth to Jupiter using both the indexes, negative and positive. Okay, so this is how you can get the range of values. But if you notice, initially we got this value as a string here, but now we are getting them as a list. So when you pull the range of values, right, you are not going to get that in a string. You are going to get the value in the form of list. There is a trick. Let's say if you want to pull the value from index 0 to index 4, right? So in that case, you don't need to provide the initial value. You can just leave it like this. And in case of negative indexes also, let's say you want to pull the value from Saturn to till the end. Okay, so you don't need to provide the end value here. You can say I want from -3 to till here. So if I run the code, you can see the first has given us from index 0 to index 4. So index 4 till here, Jupiter. So we have provided 5. So 5 is not included. So that means we will get the value till Jupiter. And for this, if you don't provide the int index, then it will give from index 3 to till last. That is the Neptune. So you can see here we have got Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. In case, let's say if you want to pull the value till end, but you don't know the start index, you can use the same syntax. Let's say I want from index 5 to till index whatever is the last index, then I can say like this. Okay, so this will give me Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, like you can see. So this is a basically a little trick, or you can say if you don't provide the value, it's going to assume automatically either the start one or the end one based on the position that you leave the value. There is another way to read the data from a list. This is when you know what you are going to get in the list, right? So that is known as the data unpacking. Okay, so let's say you have a list. Let's say LETTERS letters, and I have a letter A, B, and C. So for this, I can say A will store the value of A, B will store the value of B, and C will store the value of C, and then I can provide the letters here. And if I print the letters first, and then I will print the A, B, C, A, B, and C. Just to make it little clear, let me put a 1, 2, 3. It might be confusing that A will have a value, so let me put 1, 2, 3 here. So A will have a value 1, and B will have a value 2, and C will have a value 3. Let me put a separator also. So if I run the code, you can see first we have printed the letters, that is 1, 2, 3, and then A, B, and C having the value 1, 2, and 3. So the values of the list is assigned to these variables automatically. So this is called unpacking of data. But let's say if you don't know the length of the list, okay, so let's say 4, 5, 6, 7, and you want only two first two values. So in that case, what you can do, you can put a star here, and let me print the code. You can see now you have the first two values. A has 1, B has 2, and after that C has all the remaining values here. So this is how you can pull the value from, not pull the value, you can assign the value from a list to a variable. So this is called a data unpacking. So next I want to discuss data manipulation. So there I will discuss inserting a data into the list, updating a data into the list, and deleting the data from the list. So here I have created again the same planets variable, okay, and I have also added the indexes, positive and negative indexes. I have separated them using the slash. Okay, so let's talk about the data insertion. So I have this list. Okay, this could be an empty list also. this doesn't matter. So let's say I want to put my name inside these planets. Okay, so I'm just going to be a planet. So let's say I can use the append method. So this is built-in method in the list class that we can use. So if I put Kesari Nandan, and if I print the list planets, so you can see the my name is added in the list. Okay, so now I am also a part of the planet. So here you can see Kesari Nandan. But if you notice that this my name is added at the end of the list. But let's say if I want to add after Mars, so how can I do that? So in that case, let me comment this case. There is another built-in method called insert. So using the insert, I can add at a particular value. So I want to add after the Mars, right? So Mars has the index 3. So I want to add after that. So my index is going to be 4. So I can say index 4, and then I can just pass my name. And if I run the code, you can see after the Mars, we have Kesari Nandan. So this is how you can insert a value at a particular index. So now let's talk about the updating a value. Okay, so now I don't want to insert my name, but I want to change Saturn to my name. Okay, so for that we know the index, right? So if we know the index, what we can do, we can say planets, and then we can provide the index value here. So Saturn is 5. So I can say 5, and then I can say my name here. And if I run the code, you can see Saturn is gone and my name is added here. So this is how you can update a value in a list. Let's talk about deleting a value. If I want to, let's say if I want to delete a value, right? And if I know the value, let's say I want to delete the Uranus. Let me comment this code also. So this is basically update. And if I want to delete a value, so we can say delete. So for deleting the value, let's say I want to delete the Uranus. So I can say planets.remove. Okay, so remove is a function that takes the value that you want to delete. So you can just pass this Uranus here, and if I run the code, you can see the Uranus is gone from the list. So using this remove function, you can delete, you can pass the value, and this value will be removed. But sometimes you might not know the value, but you know the index. So in that case, how can you remove the value? So for that, there is a command called del. So you can use the del syntax, and then you can say planets, and then you can pass the index that you want to delete. So let's say I want to delete the index 1, whatever is there in at the index 1. So I can pass the index 1. So you can see the Uranus is also gone. Uranus is not the part of this list here. Sorry, Venus. Venus is not part of the list here. There is another way you can delete the value. So let's say now I don't want to use the del syntax. I want to use the built-in syntax. So we can say planets dot, there is function called pop. So pop, inside the pop, let's say I want to delete the Mars, so I can provide the index 3 here. And if I run the code, you can see the Mars is gone now. So after the Earth, we saw previously there was a Mars, but now Mars is not there. So using this pop, we can delete a value at a particular index, or we can use the del function. Apart from this, if you don't provide anything in the pop, okay, so let me first print the list. So you can see currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 values are there in the list. So if I just uncomment it, and if I use the pop and run the code again, you can see the Neptune is gone. So inside the pop function, if you don't provide the index, it's going to delete the last value that we have here. So you can call the pop as many times as you want, and it will keep deleting the last values. So you can see Saturn is also gone now. So using the pop or using the del, you can delete a value when you know the index, and using the remove, you can delete a value when you know the value. Now I want to discuss about joins. So we already have this planet variable here, and it has these 8 planets. Okay, and we have another list here that has other 3 planets. Okay, so let's say I want to join them together. So let me first print these planets and other planets. Okay, so you can see this is the first planet list that we have, and this is the other planet list that we have. And for joining them, what we can do, there is a built-in method in list. We can say planets dot extend. So using the extend, we can pass the list here, the second list, and let me print this in another line. Okay, and I want to print the list here and then new planets. So if I run the code, you can see the first list that we had planets. This now has this Finlay, Fold, and Galileo inside them. So this is how you can join two lists into one. There is another shorthand that you can use to join two lists into one. So let me just comment this code, and we can say my new list. Okay, and here we can say planets, and you can use the concatenation operator, that is plus, and we can say other planets. And if I print this, let me print this at the end. If I print this, you can see first we saw that this is the our planets and this is our other planets, and the final value in my new planet list we can see the till from Mercury till Galileo will have. So it has joined these two lists into one. So using the concatenation operator, you can join two lists. Next, I want to discuss about looping. So let's say if you want to run a loop through each planet, so you can use for planet in planets, and then you can print the planet here. So if I run the code, you can see that each planet is printed in the new line using this print function. So this is how you can run a loop in the list. Next, I want to discuss about sorting. So to sort a list, you can use built-in sort function. So you can use the sort here. So you can say planet.sort, and now this will sort the value of this list in place. And if I print the planets again, you can see the value is sorted by alphabet. Okay, so this is now sorted. There is another way that you can use to sort the values. Let me comment this. You can use sorted planets, and if I print this, it won't return anything because this returns a new list in the sorted form. So I will say sorted planets. So if I print the sorted planets here, you can see the list is again sorted. So either you can use planets.sort or you can use the sorted function. This does in place sorting and this creates a new list. Now let's discuss about searching. So let's say you want to search the index of Mars. So we can say index of Mars. You know the value but you don't know the index in the list. So in that case you can use the planets. We can say Mars index, and we can say planets dot index. So this index function accept the value that we want to search. So we can say Mars here. And if I print the Mars index, okay, let me copy the index also here from the top so that you can see this is giving the right answer. So if I run the code, you can see it has given 3. And if we check the index of Mars is 3. Let's see if I try to put small m, and if I run the code again, you can see the Mars is not in the list. So this index function is case sensitive. Okay, so you cannot provide small m when you have the value as a capital M. So you need to make sure that the case is not avoided. Now I want to talk about couple of additional list functions, built-in functions that we can use. So let's say we have a planets here, right? And let's say if I want to make another list using this list, there is couple of ways. Okay, so we can say planets 2, and if I use the list comprehension, then I can just put colon here. Okay, and if I print the planet 2, you can see this has printed the same list. And if I add a value in the planet 2 dot append, let's say I am adding a, and if I run the code, you can see the a is added here. But if I print the planet 1 again after the planet 2, that means planets here, you can see the a is not added here. That means you can copy a list into a new list using this colon. So I'm not providing the lower bound and the upper bound. That means it's going to take from 0 to index to n minus 1. There is another built-in method that we can use. So we can say here planets2, and we can say planets dot copy. So this copies the values from a list and creates a new list using the new value, using the values. So you can see we are getting the same output again. So we can use either the list, either this range value, or we can use the copy. Apart from this, there is another one. Let's say you have created the planet 2 and you have added a here. Now you want to make this empty. So for that, you can say planets dot clear. So clear will remove all the values that we have in the uh, planets. Okay. So if I run the code, you can see this the copied value, that is planet 2. We have a here, but it has cleared the value from the planets list. So this is an empty list now. So there is another method. Let's say you have sorted the value. Okay, so let me put the sorting here. So I can say planet dot sort. Okay, now I want to print the value of planet 2. Now I want to reverse this. So I can say planet 2 dot reverse, and let me again print the planet 2. So if I run the code, you can see like first what I did, I sorted this. So this is sorted now, and then I call the reverse. So this has reverse the sorting here. So you can see a here in the beginning when I did not sort this, when I did not reverse this, and when I reverse the values, you can see the a at the end. So these are the some utility functions given by the list that you can use in your code. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.